cannot make salt marsh. No matter what we do, we cannot replicate this. This is what nature needs most, next to a city. These are the environments we have to protect the most.
In northeastern North America exists one of nature's greatest gifts. Ancient landscapes formed over thousands of years, shaped by Earth's dramatic geological transformations. Wild green savannas where grasses reign supreme and the lines between land and water blur. The coastal salt marsh, where a delicate balance of chemistry and biology host one of the most productive habitats for plants and wildlife. I'm Jacob Steinberg, a natural history filmmaker and storyteller. I have had the privilege of spending time in many of Earth's magnificent environs, and to me, the coastal salt marsh is perhaps the most underappreciated and vital ecosystems that exists in our imperiled natural world today. Springtime on the marsh brings an explosion of life that reverberates across the animal kingdom and lasts through the warmer seasons. The dramatic interplay between water and earth gives rise to a truly unique habitat and sustains a rich spectrum of living creatures. But there is no more obvious beneficiary to the marsh's abundance than the birds. Bird life on a healthy marsh is bountiful. The abundance of food provides for a myriad of species, each occupying a unique niche in the environment. Every one another colorful character in the rich landscape. The sheer variety of birds frequenting the salt marsh is both enjoyable to watch and an undeniable testament to the complex network of inhabitants depending on it. As a photographer, I am captivated by the marsh. We can be privileged to beauty in its purest essence. Those who do spend time in the marsh undoubtedly recognize one of its iconic fixtures. Few creatures embody the spirit and quiet grace of this environment like the long-necked, long-beaked, long-legged family of birds we know as herons and egrets. A common sight on the salt marsh, the great egret rewards the keen observer with its dramatic hunting display. They use their unique biology to hunt unsuspecting fish in the muddy shallows. With patience and precision, they can zero in on small prey several feet from their body. By moving in complete stillness, their prey is unaware of their approach, waiting for the right moment. Not one ripple. such a large, stocky, seemingly awkward bird, nothing demonstrates better focus and coordination than the great egret stalking its underwater prey.
As the river pours into the area and the tides flood and recede, it deposits sediment, which then grows and expands the marsh, but it also floods it with nutrients. The salt from the sea makes the nutrients insoluble, so it's dispersed into the landscape.
See, this porous structure, which is the peat, this is sediment that gets accumulated, organic matter over years, decades. And this is the marsh.
So those nutrients that work their way through the soil, through the grass, those are what feed the microbes and what feed the insects and the crustaceans and the fish and the birds and the mammals. The marsh literally supports life from the ground up. So it's no wonder there's so many animals, so many birds. There's just so much to eat.
This type of rich availability of food makes it irresistible for this extremely intelligent, most opportunistic of species. Many find very creative ways of extracting the variety of nutrients available to those with a bit of ingenuity. Even as winter takes hold, profoundly changing the landscape, the marsh remains vital to countless species depending on it for the food it still provides. Some long-distance travelers come from as far as the Arctic for critical winter sustenance. These are creatures built for extremes, though nonetheless are entirely dependent on this critical lifeline in a harsh, unforgiving season. But life is not just about food. Why sustain ourselves, if not to bring new life? Therein lies the true value of the salt marsh, the sheer number of living things that depend on it to reproduce. The biomass of living creatures supported by the salt marsh rivals any ecosystem on planet Earth. A marvel to behold. Living dramas animate lush scenery, and the miracle of life plays out in elegant synchronicities choreographed by the seasons. Of all the wonders of nature I've seen, the salt marsh is the most precious to me. It's not just its beauty, its importance to wildlife, even the peace and serenity I feel when spending time here. It's where I grew up. I was born here. Long ago, the dominant fixture in this coastal landscape, the Great Salt Marsh, would be replaced over time with buildings, city streets, bridges, and airports. The animal life in this habitat evolved as well, as did the sights, smells, sounds, and colors. But even in this new, vastly different landscape, the salt marsh still plays a critical role.
You can think about the salt marsh almost as a balance to human development, especially large-scale human development. As beautiful as our cities are, as miraculous as the engineering, they still create a lot of waste. That waste contaminates the water, contaminates the soil. And the salt marsh, like nowhere else on Earth, this offsets our contamination. It purifies the soil. It builds new life-sustaining habitat. The salt marsh and the crustaceans that it supports, that it gives life to, filter and clean more water than anything else on the planet. That's why it's so vital. We humans can build that. We can build giant cities with all of our engineering skills. We can make gardens. We can practice forestry. We can make sustainable habitat in many different ways. We cannot make salt marsh. No matter what we do, we cannot replicate this. This is what nature needs most, next to a city. These are the environments we have to protect the most.
The importance of these types of habitat in and around a city environment cannot be overstated, as is our consideration of them as we continue expanding as a civilization. I will continue to tell this critical story of one of nature's forgotten sanctuaries. These wild gardens that need not be watered, tended to, seeded or sowed. These marsh landscapes are what is left of my wild backyard.